I'm going to start with something that may have you rethink your entire dating history. What if your body is wired to equate chaos with love, and calm men feel boring or even dangerous, and red flags will feel very exciting? Let that land for a minute. Just sit with that just for a second. I'm going to bring on my dear brother, Josh. Chaos is equated with love in so many women. And love and deep intimacy is actually unsafe. Here's the man. Pick up where I left off, Josh. Why is chaos equated with love for so many of us? And red flags feel exciting, even though there's a part of us that know, we shouldn't really move towards that. That feels really exciting and really alive, but we know that's not what we truly want.
Yeah, I think it's one of the biggest challenges in dating on both men and women. But I find it most from women of like, if you track back, like, you're caught in the drama why the relationship doesn't work, or these yo-yoing patterns. And if we actually go all the way back, I can't tell you how many women have said on the first date, something in my body, some little voice somewhere was like, something feels off, something doesn't feel right. But then I dismissed that and went somewhere else, right? A future pacing. Well, let me give him a chance, or, some other story. And we all have these childhood wounds that play their part, that we are attracted to what's familiar. And so we're going to go deeper into this fun subject, which I imagine if you're listening, you may have had this happen either now or previously in a previous relationship. And there's two subjects we're going to be diving into of like, why do I say yes to the red flags, and why might I not say yes to the man who is emotionally present, safe, like actually showing up and wanting a relationship?
If you're constantly, or you have a history of falling for a partner, falling for a man that is that quote unquote bad boy archetype, or falling for a man that continues to hurt you or will be physically and emotionally unavailable and not be present to your needs and not really see you and use you and maybe even manipulate the situation. And you're asking, why am I not attracted to kind men that actually see me, want to be with me and see me for who I am and value me? Then this conversation that we're having today is for you. And let's say this right up front now, Joshua and I are starting in about a month or so a wonderful program for women. You'll find out more about it in a moment. Joshua will put the link up. You can apply to be on the wait list, and that's the only way to get in. And you can also comment Decode, DM us Decode, and you'll get the information to be on the wait list as well. But we're going to unpack this pattern, which is so common in so many today, and give you some value here as well.
Yeah. So, and we both have it in our bios. Click on either of our bios and go to link. You can see it both there. So if you're listening going, why am I not attracted to the nice guy? Why do I keep falling for men that end up hurting me? Then really pay attention, because it's not just you. We've been in relationships. If you've grown up in unpredictability, if you've grown up in arguments where there was high chaos in your family system, if there was withdrawal, like a parent got upset and would withdraw, and you had to go chase your parent down to get love, or inconsistent affection, your body starts to associate this equates to love. This chaotic environment, this emotional unpresence, this withdrawal, I have to earn love, all these different things in the nervous system, which are hijacking you, your body starts to equate to love.
And often when you're meeting a calm and steady man, you equate that to boring and you equate that to flat, and then it feels flat in your body. But then the world is telling you that, through Disney, through movies, through media, that excitement is what you need in a relationship. And absolutely, like, attraction needs to be exciting, but it can't be that dangerous excitement. But attraction in the beginning stages, actually predominantly in a healthy way, in healthy attachment, it feels safe. It actually feels secure. Yes, you can have excitement there, but there's a safety that comes with the person that you're intermingling your life with. And you may often say this he's not my type. He's not the type of your pattern that's running. That's a protected pattern. That's what he's not the type of. He's not necessarily not the type of that your soul is seeking. That's the difference.
Yeah, there was a woman in a previous program that had literally said, she created a whole blueprint of, these are my top values, these are my red flags, these are my yellow flags. And she said, literally, my type has been the same. I could walk into a room of 50 men and I would attract the one guy in the room I'd be attracted to is the same pattern of high emotional chemistry, totally avoidant, completely leaky energy, like the same exact blueprint she would attract over and over and over again, until she started to reshift her nervous system to actually trust her body and start to say, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm doing this from an adult now. I'm not going to keep recreating my childhood blueprint. I'm going to start to create it very differently.
And, it's that chaos blueprint that you're speaking to. And so when we look at, what's happening physiologically, because this is a big part of what Decode the Masculine is also about. It's really this program, this immersion that we're offering is really supporting women in understanding their own nervous system and understanding the chemistry that they're psychologically addicted to as well. And so when you meet someone that is unpredictable, you're naturally going to release stress hormones, right? Cortisol, adrenaline, etc. That's then followed by dopamine in order for you to then feel affection and attraction again. And you need the stress cortisol to have more dopamine. They go hand in hand. And then what happens is that the push-pull of that experience creates a chemical high, and that the chemical high becomes not only a neurological groove that's locked into your body, but it becomes a pattern that you become addicted to. And often what happens is then the higher that you're looking for, because they become addicted in and of themselves, the lower the low has to be. So you may even find yourself, attracting men that are, I don't want to say worse for you, but more unhealthy and even cannot meet you to the depth that you really want to be met at.
Yeah, so it's like the high gets higher and the low gets lower, and then you're just re-chasing the chemical, which is addiction. Essentially, we're moving into addiction, and so your brain wires together chaos equals relief equals love. Mm. And when a man is calm and consistent, there's no spike in adrenaline. All these chemicals aren't getting released in your body and getting hijacked on the same addictive patterns. So that gets labeled as boring, and we go for the craving or the hit. Yeah. And so this isn't, this is really about building a broader awareness of what's going on with your body and the neurochemicals.
Yeah. And this kind of love is always going to feel, or this unsafe love is always going to feel more exciting, and your willpower will only take you so far. You've got to make shifts in your biology. You've got to make shifts in your body. You've got to connect back to your heart. You've got to connect back to what you truly desire. You've got to work through the fears and the beliefs that have been established at a very young age, often at a very young age. You've got to work through the examples of love that you've witnessed, or the volatility and the uncertainty, the unpredictability and the chaos that you've experienced in your own life, so that you don't keep bringing that familiarity through, the ego into the world. And that becomes just more and more painful. And that's a in our minds, in our lives, that's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah. And like, think of it like this. Let's say you go on a date with a man and he's calm. And let's say he's present and he asks questions and he really listens and he wants to get to know you. He's like here with you. And what happens next? You find yourself after the date talking to one of your friends going like, I just didn't feel the spark, right? Like, what was the spark? Is it possible that spark is the neurochemicals that are your survival patterns, versus this man's actually emotionally calm, safe, present, available, because your nervous system is rejecting safety because it's unfamiliar.
Another example is, you start dating someone and they're a little hot and cold, right? Messaging you for a few days, they're consistent, and they're not, but then there's an intensity to their communication. And that brings excitement, that we spoke to earlier about the unpredictability and the uncertainty. And then you can't stop thinking about them. And then you get angry and you get upset at them, but then they reinvigorate that communication and connection by sending you something that maybe is sexy or is engaging or shows you that they're really interested and they really care. So here you're confusing intensity with intimacy. And intensity and this is the norm for you, and it's become so much the norm that you've lost your sense of truth, like your core. You're disconnected from your intuition.
And this is why so many women end up with the same types of recurring patterns with unavailable men, or men that are not consistent, or men that overpromise and then disappear, or these continual looping patterns, because they're listening to those neurochemicals of what they associate as chemistry as love versus their actual intuition, versus actually listening, what's going on with my body? Is my body relaxing into safety? Do I have spaciousness? Do I have time to feel myself and to feel him? Or am I hijacked by the chemicals thinking that's love?
Yeah. And also to that, Josh, do I have time and space to actually be me, to ask for what I need, to express myself, to share my truth, to present my insecurities or the parts of me that aren't necessarily attractive in the world, right? I think so. So one of the ways that and there are many ways, of course, but we rewire our own attraction patterns. And when we when we surround ourselves with people that are non-judgmental, that are present to us, that are asking questions, that are curious, that meet us and greet us with compassion, it gives us a blueprint or a new blueprint to literally rewire that within ourselves, to maybe see ourselves in more loving and caring ways. And so part of the solution here is to surround yourself with people that share that interest, that don't just want to be in the intensity and in the volatility of what they think is love, but more, whether it's friends and peers, teachers, coaches, etc., groups, but being with people that can actually see you where you can be more of yourself, and you can begin to rewire the conditioned pattern or belief you have around intensity equates to intimacy.
Yeah, and with that specifically for women, because we're really highlighting women, what types of men do you have around you that are integrated men, that are safe, emotionally present, like show up and listen? Like, how many examples do you have? Do you have an examples of men going, oh, I have multiple examples of these men around me. So I have a felt sense of the nervous system to go, oh, I reveal my heart's truth. This man gets angry or gets upset or walks away or gaslights me or does some sort of pattern. This man takes a moment, takes a breath, listens to me, elevates me. Like, does he lean in? Does he lean out? So my point is, how many examples of healthy masculine energy do you have around you on a regular basis? Because this is what starts to rebuild the nervous system from grounded masculine energy, repeating over and over and over again.
Yeah. And this is one of the reasons, if we go back to Decode the Masculine for a moment, this is one of the reasons that we created this, so that you can be in a container with other people that are on a similar journey. So your hearts are connected in that way, but you're also in the presence of conscious men, emotionally available men that are curious about you, and men that carry, a skill set as well. Between Josh and I, we've been doing this for 50 plus years in terms of really supporting people through helping them see what has been unseen within them, helping them make that unconscious conscious, because we all know that it's the unconscious patterns and beliefs and behaviors and aspects of self that drive so much of our relationships and our intimacy, and often the pain and the difficulty that we continue to experience in life. And so again, that's in real time, you get to learn the difference between unhealthy projection and expression and what's attracting more of what you don't want. Because we'll often say, oh, I don't want this, but we act differently, and actions speak 1,000 words. And this is where we go back to rewiring our biology. That's a big part of it, that somatic inclusion and that reassessment of the nervous system, and learning to regulate ourselves in times of volatility or unpredictability can be really powerful.
Yeah. And so I would say, hey, if you're currently listening to the narrative, maybe it's surrounded by other women in there. I was just in the sauna last night and I heard a woman talking about her relationship challenges, and another woman it was projection. I could hear her projecting onto all her wounds onto this woman. And I'm going, masculine would have a totally different take on this, right? If you look in social media and you're surrounded by so many other narratives that are supporting whatever you're thinking, or do you want to actually come to Decode the Masculine and get real, actual feedback from men that are doing the work, men that are surrounded by other men doing the work? And that's why we created this. We want you to have, let's let you in and say, hey, this is actually how it feels like. This is what we talk about. This is how men behave. Learn directly from men that know men really well.
Yeah. You didn't thought to interject yourself when you're in the...
I was sitting there like, is this the moment? Is this the moment? I was like, absolutely in my own space. I almost did. I was going like, you sure about that?
Give him the conversation. Hey, I don't mean to eavesdrop, and I've got a perspective here if you want to hear it. Anyway, we're relational beings, right? We're humans doing the human thing, and I think it's helpful to obviously help each other. This is a big reason why we've created this. And something that you're going to get from this is that eventually, if you keep leaning in, being willing, and doing the work around this, red flags just are not going to be appealing. And maybe for the first time in your life or for a long time, men can actually feel safe. You can learn and you can remember what feeling home feels like within you. And especially, I want to really, really lean into this. I grew up in a very unsafe environment. I grew up in a place that was very, very painful and very disconnected, and violence was around every corner. And so the uncertainty, I can relate to the pattern of intensity equating to intimacy. And red flags in my own life were so appealing. And you can get to the place where red flags don't need to be so appealing. and where safety can feel like home, as opposed to chaos and volatility feeling like home. And if that's something that really interests you, like truly, truly interests you, join up. The worst thing you can do is just join a waitlist, right? Join Decode the Masculine, but join the waitlist. And it's a powerful opportunity to be, again, in the presence of other people sharing a similar path. And more importantly, coming home to yourself.
And I can't tell you how many women that know a lot. They've done the work. They've been doing nervous system regulation. They've been doing somatic work. They've been in doing deep reparenting work that go, oh, the only thing I was missing is actually feeling the contrast of healthy integrated masculine that somehow resets the nervous system to trusting self again, to go, oh, I'm not crazy. Oh, I can relax into my body. I can really trust what my body's saying and be met and attuned and listened to and acknowledged by the masculine. And so would really love to have you join us. It's going to be an amazing experience. Join the wait list. The only way you can get invited to join Decode the Masculine is if you're on the wait list. So if you join the wait list, you can click on the link either in this chat, the link in either of our bios, or if you hit Decode, you can get in any of those ways.
Yeah. And we're going to be, Josh and I are going to be doing lives often, at the very least once a week together, even once this program is running and commences in September 13th, I believe. So we're going to just keep sharing these very real life examples and these patterns that exist and provide, I don't want to say solutions, but provide exploration for it so that you don't feel alone and that you don't feel completely stuck, and there's an opportunity for you to grow out of this. Anything I've missed, Josh? Anything you want to share, brother, before we sign off?
Just say, you're not crazy. It's very common and there is a way out. And when you make a way out, you can start to become the example for the other people in your community because you have the way to navigate through it. So
yeah. Well said.
So fun. I just love doing these. These are always so fun.
Yeah, likewise, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you that are being here. We're going to post this particular video on our main feed as well, and then our main page, and then we'll post on Facebook as well, and all the places. And just be if you feel this resonates, and maybe share it with someone privately that can really connect to it, or just share it in any capacity you wish. And we'll see you soon.
Awesome. All right, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.